when I went to a barbershop that was full of women,
Yeah.
the owner Riri's like my sister.
Yeah.
She told me something, and I was like, damn. I probably at this time I was maybe 35.
Yeah.
She was like, why, how come you men don't put value on yourself? And I was like, what do you mean?
Man.
And she was like, why don't y'all value yourself? She's
Bro.
like, just because you got the equipment don't mean you got to use it. And I'm like, hey, I never even, as a man, I'm like, man, listen,
Bro.
I'm trying to break the knob, right?
You know what I'm saying?
And we are never taught to value ourselves as men. So,
Man. What up, y'all? My name is Jay Klein. I'm your host. This is the Vulnerable Podcast. Happy to have you here. If you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe. If you have subscribed, make sure you share. And if you've already shared, take some time to send us your thoughts. We have an email, vulnerable.fam@gmail.com. Again, that's vulnerable.fam@gmail.com. If you want to reach out with any questions, thoughts, ideas, topics, or feedback, send us an email. And if you're interested in coming on the show, you can always reach out to me, JAYKLINE_JAYKLINE_. Excited to have y'all see what we got today. Peace. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Vulnerable, man. Happy to have y'all here, Vulnerable fam. We got the man, the myth, the legend, my brother, you know what I'm saying? He responsible for half my beauty right now. You know, not only is this man a businessman, a phenomenal barber, an entrepreneur, right? But I think he has some amazing conversation, and I'm excited to have him here today. So, introducing the most, reintroducing the others, right? This might be a familiar face. You know what I'm saying? He is America's most eligible. No, I'm just playing. Let me stop. I'm capping. Let me not get my mans in trouble. But I'll call him Rod. I'm going to let him introduce himself. What's good, bro?
what's up, bro? Yeah, you want me to introduce myself?
For sure. Yeah, let's get to it. Who are you?
Man, I'm Jerod, man. I'm from Austin.
Yeah.
Jerod is, regular guy,
Yeah.
chill guy.
Yeah.
And then I got my barber persona,
Yeah.
Worldwide,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Worldwide, which is interesting way I came up with that name. But yeah, man, I'm regular man trying to survive out here, man. Trying to learn how to be vulnerable.
Hey.
So,
Yeah. I know we're going to get to it, bro. Austin, though. Let's start there. First of all, I know there's no black people in Austin. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What it's been? It's been 2 years since we've been down here, and I know my first I think it was my first month in Austin. That's when we connected.
Yeah.
Cause niggas need a cut.
That was 22?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, bro.
So that was 22 and then 23 and now 24?
Bro.
That's
yes,
crazy.
bro. Just like
Damn.
that. Yeah, it was July.
It
was July, bro.
Yeah, 22, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Damn. So it's like, coming from Dallas, I think it was a culture shock for me because
definitely.
You know what I'm saying? We everywhere.
Absolutely.
And I mean, what was life like in Austin? Like, how was that?
Man, it's weird because the black population is so small. So it's like you'll go to school on the east side, you know everybody on the north side because it's so small. Yeah. So I looked up like the census. I don't know how accurate it is, but the black population is like 7.5% in Austin.
Sheesh.
Of a million. So it's like 7.5. So
what?
What's that, like 75,000?
Yeah, on a good day.
Yeah, on a good day. But it was unique, man. We would ride the bus. To everybody else, it's bigger.
Okay.
To us, it was small.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about where y'all might get the J's in Dallas.
Yeah.
We ain't getting that for about 3 months later.
Sheesh.
So it was slow. It was really slow. But growing up for me, man, I was my mom's only child. So
okay. Yeah.
My mom had me when she was 29.
Yeah.
The next day she turned 30. So me and my mom were real close. Like my birthday was the day before hers.
Yeah.
My dad, he had 7 kids.
Yeah.
Man, I had a eventful, eventful life growing up. If you want to keep it at that, trials and tribulations like everybody else. But I think for me, I learned early that nobody was coming to save me, and that's what kind of made me want to give back to people, but also be so guarded where it's like, I've seen things, I've experienced things that I shouldn't have experienced when I was a kid.
Wow.
Not like molestation or nothing like that. But, I didn't listen. I told somebody this other day. Yeah. I've never watched Boys in the Hood all the way through. Yeah. I've never watched Menace to Society. I don't like those type of movies. Wow. It took me a long time to watch New Jack City because, bro, my house was the trap. Like,
so it was triggering for you.
Oh yeah, it did something to me to where when I became a man, I could understand like that's an art. But growing up, I'm like, bro, I don't want to relive this.
Yeah.
And I would sometimes sit there and I would frown up, and I would just think about these vivid memories of police kicking in the door, house getting raided. And people be like, man, what's wrong with you? I'm like, and I'll have to snap out of it, like, what you talking about?
Yeah.
Why you frowning? I'm like, bro, if I told you, you'd think I'm crazy. So for me growing up, it was, you had to balance it. Yeah. So a lot of times I would go to school and the teachers thought I was like mentally retarded because I wouldn't talk. I would sit there and be like, my mom would get mad, my grandma would get mad. Well, what's wrong with you? Are you crazy? Yeah. But I can't go to school and tell my teacher, hey, man, you want me to do, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, I don't know if we're going to have a meal tonight. I don't know if the light's going to be on. Right. I don't know if I'm going to get a call my mom is dead. Yeah. So I'm dealing with grown men stuff at 10, 11, 12 years old. So for me, I had to find that balance early, bro. And that's just how it was growing up.
That's plenty pressure to be under, bro. And I feel like, you know, at the core of what I hear you describing is anxiety, right? And to be experiencing that at such a young age and nobody teaching you how to process that, what did that feel like, man? I mean, obviously, one way that you was responding to that was like, you know what, internally, like I can't communicate. What other ways did that impact you? Like, did you have trouble making friends? Like,
no, actually, it made me like a social butterfly. Wow. Because the things that I didn't have, I wanted. Okay. I wanted brothers. Yeah. You know, my dad had children, but we didn't grow up together. Okay. So like my cousin became my brother. Yeah. I wanted friends. I wanted to I didn't want to wear what I was going through. Yeah. So when I tell people like, oh, I'm 36 years old, like, Dad, you look like you're 20. Right. It's like, I don't wear it. Yeah. Like I learned at a young age, like you can't wear this. I can't walk around and be masculine and angry because nobody's gonna want to deal with me. No, but like even growing up in the trap, the drug house, my mom still provided for me. Wow. You know, my mom suppressed it. Okay. So I'm talking about I'm the kid, 11 years old, going to school with $30 for lunch. Yeah. And I'll be like, damn, we rich, but we not. Yeah. You're masking an addiction to kind of help me cope. Gotcha. So for me, it made me a social butterfly. Like I'm welcoming. So even with all this turmoil going on at the crib, I still had the house everybody come spend the night at, play video games. It was still safe. And I remember like vivid memories of like the D-boys living at the crib. That's crazy. Slanging out the crib. Yeah. But hey, don't go in his room. Yeah. That's my nephew. Right. I was protected by that. Got you. So for me, it made me everything that I didn't have. So I'm like, at home it's rough. Like it's when somebody's going through an addiction, and I learned this later in life. Yeah. When they say when you start that drug, that's the mind frame that you stay in. Wow. So let's say you start drugs at 15. Yeah. You become 50 years old. You're like, damn, my dad act like a child. Because he tapped into that so early that he never even let his brain mature. Wow. They say the brain matures at 25 years old. Yeah. So your brain is constantly developing. So for me, man, it made me like want to be around everybody, but at the same time, being the only child, I can go off and be by myself and be perfectly fine.
You know, I feel like there's so many parallels, bro. I know we never dived too much into our childhood. Right. But there's so many parallels because, you know, I came from a similar background. Right. I'll just say that. And I remember one day I was in the room playing with my sister because all my siblings is through my dad too. Right. I was in the room playing with my sister. And I think we was like, my dad used to keep all his shoes in boxes because he had a bunch of brand new stuff. Right. For the lifestyle he was living. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know.
We was dressed well, you know, he got us what we wanted, and one day we was in there playing with his boxes, and like I think I was under the bed or something, he was playing tag. And my dad bust in the door, and we like, what is you doing? You never come in here. You know what I'm saying? He bust in the door, he grabbed me and my sister, he dove on top of us, and he just held us. It felt like forever. And we sitting there, and you know, years later I'm processing this, but we were sitting there for what felt like forever. Right. And we get up, and it's like I can see smoke coming up from the floor, and I see bullets everywhere.
You're getting shot up.
Somebody was shooting the house up.
Wow.
So this was one of the spots where obviously, you know, I don't know what they was in search for. It's not my story to tell as far as like why they chose him as the culprit. I definitely lived the experience.
Absolutely.
But it was things like that happened to me just throughout my childhood to your very point where, like, I didn't have to put myself in certain predicaments, but I also wasn't afraid of certain things.
Absolutely.
Because I feel like when you see that, you understand what comes with that.
It makes you Teflon.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a gift and a curse.
Yeah. Because
for me, I can endure a lot.
Yeah.
I can take it. Like,
yeah.
I can be in a relationship with you, making the hell, I could take it. Because I've been through the hell. I've been through the fire. And I seen this one quote one time, and it sticks with me.
Yeah.
It says, the toughest knives are forged in the hottest fires.
Wow.
So to forge a knife, it got to go through a process of being broken down. Then you have to forge it, put it in the fire, and see if it's strong enough. So as many times as you go through that fire, bro, what is it going to do to you?
Right.
So like you said, like, you become fearless, but you become wise of, like, I didn't have to sell drugs growing up. I already knew, like, that's not for me.
Facts.
My boys, hey man, I gotta get money. Oh, hey, I would stay broke.
Yep.
I couldn't do it because I know, and like the part that really stuck with me is, like, I couldn't do that to your mom. Mm-hmm. Somebody did that to my mom. Somebody did that to my aunt. Yeah. And it's like, there was times, bro, where my mom would be gone, but me and my mom, we like this. Like, this is no bashing of my mom, because that's my road dog.
But it's what you lived through.
Yeah, I lived it. And I think, like, I've never had enough courage to tell my mom that it affected me, because I know it will hurt her. So I just take it. Like, it's like, even to this day, I'm like, you don't understand. Yeah. And you never will. And that's what I think being vulnerable is trying, is the empathy, it just doesn't work. Yeah. Like I told you earlier, man, I can sit here and talk to you about being a man. Yeah. And you have a different emotion because you have a daughter. Now that I have a daughter, it's completely different.
Facts.
It's like, oh, I'm living it. And my dad would tell me, like, I would be kind of judgmental of my dad growing up with my siblings. And my dad would say, keep living, son. Yeah. Then I had a daughter, and I called him, like, you was right. Yeah. Like, I apologize. He's like, no, keep living. Like, this is just the beginning. So as much as I would want to not necessarily judge her, she never lived what I lived. You know what I'm saying? And I never lived what she lived, so I don't even know what that would be like to be on a substance and feeling however you feel. So I never brought it up. It's like, all right, cool. Like, I'm going to save us now. So that's kind of what that was.
And I think that that's something that a lot of men skip past, right? Because, I mean, to introduce our topic, we talking about growing and maturing, becoming a man, just for the audience so y'all know. But I feel like men share a lot of the same addictions, but and I feel like it's truly minimal variety. Right. But I feel like, a lot of men struggle with an addiction to pornography. A lot of men, you know what I'm saying?
I ain't giving that up.
Right. But for real though, and I think that that's something that a lot of men, we don't understand how that distorts our thinking, and it causes us to hypersexualize women, because there is a sense of dominance, right? And being able to understand, like, I can control such and such. Because most men will run to porn when they realize that things are rocky with a woman, or you realize
and
a woman.
After you get that 30 seconds, you're like, oh my God,
you know what I'm saying?
I feel disgusting.
Literally, I'm trash.
Yeah, you're a slime ball for sure.
You know what I'm saying? That, I would say, another thing too is definitely, I think, I wouldn't say necessarily violence is addicting, but I think the allure of living life on the edge can be enticing for what it represents, right? And I think that can become an addiction for us as well, as to do risky things in order to be affirmed, because we haven't been affirmed in all of these other places. Wow. I would also say, I think that abandonment can be something that we run to so quickly and we don't realize it. And we started early in relationships.
When you say abandonment, what exactly do you mean?
Bro, I think because we internally deal with abandonment in certain ways. Right. We repeat those behaviors, right?
For me, it's like some things are in our nature. Like, for you, for me, we're men.
Facts.
So if a man come in his house and your wife is here, it's your nature to be barbaric and say, not mine. You know? Right. And we don't know how to put that to the side. Yeah. So, excuse me. like going out in the world.
Yeah.
You go out in the world when you 17, 18, you got the fresh Nikes on.
Yeah.
Watch out, who's stepping on my shoes. You 30, oh, it's all right, brother. Have a good day. You've lived that experience and learned how to put that, like that barbaric nature up. And I think that's where we fail as men. Like I'm out here, bro, living when I was young. I'm slanging baloney out here.
Right, I'm already knowing. Yeah.
But when I went to a barbershop that was full of women, the owner Riri's, like my sister, she told me something, and I was like, damn. Probably at this time I was maybe 35.
Yeah.
She was like, why? How come you men don't put value on yourself? And I was like, what do you mean,
man?
And she was like, why don't y'all value yourself? She's like, just because you got the equipment don't mean you got to use it. And I'm like, hey, I never even, as a man, I'm like, man, listen, I'm trying to break the knob. You
know what I'm saying?
And we are never taught to value ourselves as men. So
man,
when you get to the point where you protect and providing and you don't know how to really nurture because you were never taught that. It's like, and I had this conversation ironically the other day. I'm like, I don't know what a woman goes through because I'm not a woman. Right. And I don't want to deal with cycles and having kids. I don't want to do that.
Right.
But I do know that the pressure of being a man and knowing that it's all on you and there's no excuse, how do you can't escape that.
Yeah. It's for sure a battle that I think can be as crippling as what women go through.
Absolutely.
You know, and I think to your point, because I don't want to jump past that. You said something key. That was going to be my other point is sex is definitely an addiction for men.
Oh, absolutely.
And to your point, I think, again, that pursuit of dominance or to say I've conquered this thing because of what society tells us, right? Is that society tells us everything opposite of what actually being a man is, right? What I believe being a man is to be tender, gentle, loving, kind, caring, you know.
But those are the strongest men.
Those are the strongest men,
the man that walk around like he brolic, he's the softest. He's the man that'll go home and beat up on his woman.
He broken.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's broken.
He's not even a man at that point.
Exactly.
So as opposed to the tender man, soft man.
Yeah.
You can look at that and see that that's not a man.
Facts. Yeah.
What you're going to you being a father.
Yeah.
You becoming the man that you want your daughter to marry.
Yeah.
That's what, when I had my daughter, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
You want her to marry you right now, or you want her to marry who you gonna become? So I feel like, bro, we at a disadvantage, and it's not an excuse. It's just as a man, we're not taught anything. How do you, as a single mother, how do you raise a boy?
Right.
I feel like it's the most difficult thing to do because men, our insurance is always gonna be higher. Yeah. Because the dashboard gonna say 140, and we gonna push it to 140.
Right.
A woman ain't gonna do that. Her insurance is lower. She's going to live longer. She ain't gonna take the risk we're gonna take. Yeah. A woman might party for a little bit, and then, I'm tired of this lifestyle. Man, come on, bro.
We be 60 in the club.
What? With the Viagra in the hand, like tic-tac.
For real, though.
Yeah, ready.
For real. Geriatrics in the club.
With the Heelys on. Sliding his Heelys. But, bro, it's like a lot of it goes back to not having a man to show you. Because when you grew up around your uncles, it's how many chicks you smashed today? Yeah. It's not what did you do to be better? Did you hold the door for a woman? Yeah. Did you look at another man and say, hey, brother, have a good day? And those are things that we don't understand on that nurturing side. And I think a woman brings that out of you.
Because those behaviors aren't reaffirmed by other men. Absolutely. You know what helped me to be able to like be comfortable with, because I learned some of these things from my dad. I didn't learn all of these things from my dad. I remember I was kicking it with one of my homies. Shout out my boy Mallory. And we were leaving somewhere, and he was like, love you, bro. And he said it subtle, but I think I was like 19 at the time. Right. That was the first time somebody my age had like uttered that to me other than my cousin, right? Like you see your cousin, you like, cousin, I love you, man. I'm going to holler at you for sure. But like, we just friends. Right. You know what I'm saying? And we don't normalize behaviors like that, but I begin to see other things like that for men, and I realize like, oh, it's actually ignorant to feel so insecure to be like, I can't tell you, man, you look handsome today.
Why can't I love you though? Right. Why shouldn't I?
Yeah.
And I have clients like you, I have other clients like we embrace like, all right, bro, I love you too. And it's like, it's so organic that you don't even think about it. You know, when you growing up and you're a man, oh, that's gay, fam. Yeah. That's gay.
Right.
And it's like, nah, I want you to know I love you because let's say you're dealing with something, you about to drive off that bridge, you're like, damn, but Rod and them love me.
Right.
It's different. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of times men, we aren't vulnerable enough, bro. It's I don't know, man. It's a curse. It's a gift and a curse.
What made growing and maturing become an important thing to you, right? Because like this isn't something that we just stumble upon. When were you kind of like you had your aha moment? Like how did that happen?
So when I turned 30,
okay,
I was like, damn, I'm getting old, man.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel anything. Like I said, my mom's birthday is the day after my mom. Yeah. So when I turned 30, I was in Atlanta. I wasn't partying, but I went to Atlanta. I think I was in Atlanta. Yeah. Something like that. And I was like, okay, maybe I need to grow up a little bit. But I didn't feel it. Yeah. We were in Atlanta, went to the museum, and then the next day on my mom's birthday, I felt it. It was like, boom. Mm-hmm. But you got to think, like, when my mom had me, she turned 30. Yeah. Like, she had me at 29, next day she was 30. I didn't feel it, but I felt it on her birthday. And I was like, damn, what does this mean? And I was still very young in the mind. And growing and maturing, like, barbering saved my life. Yeah. Like, it gave me everything. Yeah. I'm talking about, I've been out the country. It gave me a purpose to know that I'm now able to be a man because I can provide. I have something that's sustainable. So for me, bro, it was like when I turned 30, it was like, okay. But I still had a couple, like, I was angry. I was dealing, like, in anger. I didn't know why. But when I looked in the mirror, now I can say it at almost 37. Yeah. I wasn't happy with me. Yeah. Like, you could have the biggest penis you want. Right. But until you in here happy, that don't mean nothing. Right. And I wasn't happy. So I would be in a relationship and a woman would say something and I was, no, this, and I was snapping. I was like, and I didn't know why until one day I was at work, bro, and like I wrote a note to myself. Yeah. I said, Jerod, you will finish barber school. I didn't even know I was going to barber school. Wow. I wrote the note. I went, sat in my car, I called my dad, and we probably had like a small conversation. Yeah. He was like, how's work? And I was like, it's good. And when he hung up, bro, I just cried, and I was like, I'm not happy. Yeah. Like I don't. And I sat there and I literally said, now, for the longest, we only had one barber school in Austin. So I'm living on faith. Yeah. I sat in my car, bro. I wrote that note and I cried and I said, God, if you let me go to barber school, I'll never have another bad day in my life. Yeah. I promise. I said, I'll give you 100%. Yeah. Bro, I got online. I Googled barber schools in Austin. Yeah. I'm from South Austin, so it's like Riverside, Metropolis. Yeah. Barber school pops up. Bam, Riverside. I said, oh, shit. That's in my neighborhood. Yeah. I'm like, all right, God, I see you. Yeah. I'm like, but you got to be intentional. Yeah. I'm like, God, I don't want to work when I go to school. Yeah. I'm not working. Yeah. If I got to take a loss, I'll take the loss. Yeah. I looked, said, all right, God, I don't want to work though. Yeah. The other school, they didn't offer financial aid. I called. Yeah. I called the school, Bavell. Hey, I want to be a barber, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Yeah, just come up here and do a tour. I said, okay, so how about tuition? They said, well, we offer financial aid. I said, all right, God, that's number 2. What? Now, the craziest thing happened. Yeah. I didn't do no work that day. I'm working for a company called, like, I don't even know, but it was like, what Teledoc is? Yeah. Where you look at the doctor. Yeah. We were selling an app like that. And I'm talking about making 400 cold calls a day. Wow. I got to talk to the doctor. I'm talking to the secretary. Oh, no, Dr. Jones ain't in. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, God, here we go. That's number 2. Yeah. But I didn't do no work. My boss called me. It was like a Friday. My boss called me. He's like, man, I don't think you want to do this. And I was like, I don't. Yeah. And he was like, all right, well, think about it over the weekend. Yeah. He told me that, but he was already firing me. Yeah. So this was like September 15th or something. Yeah. Maybe September 11th of 2019. Yeah. He called me Monday. Hey, man, we ain't bringing you back. Wow. Like, all right. I had my tour that day. They officially fired me September 25th of 2019. Yeah. I went and did my tour. My starting date was October 29th. So it was like a month later. Yeah. My graduation day was September 25th of the next year. Wow. Yeah, bro. I was like, all right. And so when I had spoke to my boss, he was like, so what are you going to do? I was like, I'm going to be a barber.
Yeah.
He was like, I hope you make it. I said, bro, you don't have to hope.
Man.
And I went to school every day, bro. I never missed school. I went to school through COVID.
Yeah.
It was only me and another guy. We went up to the school. We hung up like partitions to block off the school. We went and cleaned the school.
Yeah.
We were doing school online. And they told us, like, you can get unlimited hours. So I'm on school 13 hours.
Wow.
And they didn't give us credit for cutting hair, but I'm broke. I'm like, bro, I'm going to do I'm doing $20 house calls during COVID.
Yeah.
I was making like $1,000 a week.
Wow.
From doing $20 house calls. And I was living in Hutto. So
Yeah.
I'm driving from Hutto to Dripping Springs for $20.
Oh my God.
$20.
People, let me put this in perspective for people that's
$20.
not in Austin. My boy driving 40 to 50 minutes one way.
Yeah, for $20.
Yeah, for 20 hours. For $20. That's like 2 hours of travel time back and forth to where he got to go. Yeah, and that's like without traffic. If we including traffic,
oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Done.
Sheesh.
But that was my moment of like, now I'm in control.
But you know, bro, something you saying I think is really resonating with me is like two things. One, I think when males come to a moment in their lives where they realize like we're at a crossroads, because it will happen, right? You have to make a decision. That's one. Two, which I'll put this before what I just said is, you mentioned that you have faith in God.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of men are suffering because they just struggle with faith, period, right? And I think the awesome thing is when you get to know God or you allow him to navigate your life, you obviously see the relation to like, okay, you know what? I possibly couldn't be responsible for my life working out on my own because I've seen these mistakes. So I have to, let me give this thing a try. I feel like when I look at all my, it's amazing that when people get success, first thing they do, they get that Grammy. Man, I just want to give all honor to God.
To God, for sure.
You know, it's so natural, right? It's especially in Black culture, right?
Absolutely.
I think that's almost secondary to us. It's like, you know, you got to give God all the credit, but walking out our lives sometimes looks so opposite.
Absolutely.
Of what we were raised up under or the principles we were told that we have to honor, all of these things. And so how did you know in that moment, like, all right, this is beyond me?
The barber school thing?
Yeah, because, I mean, for you to sit in your car and be like, all right, God, I need you to come in.
Because God is always in control of me. Mm-hmm. Like, now, there's a such thing as human error. Don't get it twisted.
Oh, God, yeah.
God has a plan for you, but if you don't follow that plan, there's other things. But I think I got that from my grandmother. Like, I started believing in God at like 12 years old.
Yeah.
I was walking past my grandma's room. She was on her bed with her eyes closed, hands and knees praying. I was like, oh, like, this is real. Yeah. I'm thinking like, man, but it's real for her. So let me try to find something. And I remember one time my grandmother gave me a Bible. It was like a little small Bible. It wasn't a big Bible. And she would call me and be like, did you read your Bible? I'm like, nah, I ain't read that.
Yeah.
And she was like, did you read your Bible? Mm-hmm. She was on me hard.
Wow.
And I was like, no.
Yeah.
And one day I just opened it and read it. Like my mom was like, read this. I think it was like Proverbs. I couldn't tell you the scripture, but I read it. But when I was closing it, I looked at the front page and my grandmother wrote a note. It was like, whenever you don't believe, open this. And I was like, oh, this is real. Yeah. And so I just started to like, I knew God was controlling everything because when I was broke and I had nothing, there was nothing you could do to make me break the law. Yeah. I'm like, God is controlling me. He has to be controlling me because there's nothing, like, I'm in my mind, I'm like, bro, I want money like everybody else. Yeah. But it's like, it's not your turn. Yeah. So I had to wait my turn. But I just think the things, everything I had been through from what I told you I grew up in, like I said, the toughest knives are forged in the hottest fires. And God was like, when you're ready to submit, I'll do it. And that's the thing that I pride myself on now. Like when I wake up, I'm intentional. Like I'll go outside like, hey, God, just if there's a blessing out here, I'm up for it. I'm ready. Yeah. And so I just prepared myself. But I feel like everything I had went through and then not to be dead or not to be strung out on drugs, God was in control. So
Yeah.
Sometimes I want to ask, like, why you do this to me?
Yeah.
But if you keep going, it's always a reward. Like, you never stop. And that's the biggest thing. Like, it was like, never stop. Even when you have this mindset of, like, I'm losing it, I'm going crazy.
Yeah.
Like, just, there's something out there. And I use this analogy a lot with my clients. I'm like, if I told you there was $5 million outside, would you go outside or would you ask me where it's at? That's what God does.
Yeah.
It's abundance of blessings. We all have millions and millions of blessings, but are you going to stay faithful along the journey? And I think that's why now my barber career is doing so well, because I stayed faithful. I didn't quit.
Yeah.
But I endured a lot. And you got to take it to understand how to get it. And when I got it, I was like, oh, this is what it is. So I think I just, bro, it started young. Like my grandmother, I seen that. I was like, and my grandma don't even know I seen that.
Yeah.
And it changed my life. I was like, she really believes in God. Like, it's not fake for her.
Yeah.
So,
but I love that, though, because when I think about, like, to your point, man, I done been in situations I know I ain't had no business being in, right? You know what I'm saying? I absolutely know, like, bro, it ain't too many making it out of situations like this. But one thing that I will say is that even when I came around and I'm kicking it with people that I know how they get down, it was always like, bro, you ain't supposed to be here.
This is not you.
You feel me? Or like, bro, you gotta, you know what I'm saying?
But look what happened to you when you stayed faithful to who you were.
Right.
Like, you probably got friends that's not married and they would never be.
Yeah.
They would never be faithful to themselves.
Right.
I think that's God.
Yeah.
Like,
and exactly. And that's my point is, like, I think when we can, I tell people this all the time, and I actually said this to Yodi a couple months back. We was chopping it up, and I was like, man, you might be the only Bible that somebody reads.
Wow.
Someone may never pick a Bible up.
Wow.
But how you live your life.
Wow.
And how you decide to represent who Christ is, that's what's going to speak to people.
That's why I'm the barber that I am, bro.
Yeah.
I told God, like, with this blessing, with this gift you give me, I want to change the world.
Yes.
Hence, worldwide blends.
Come on.
Kanye West said it in the song, I'll never forget. He said, I'm going to make my name last. I put that on my last name. Mm-hmm. And it was like, okay.
Yeah.
So now everything that I do, if I'm a child of God, I'm not only doing it for myself, but I'm doing it for God and my children. My last name. So, yeah, that's like, hey, you know what, bro? The first time I cut your hair, we had a conversation. I was like, this dude feel like he my brother. Yeah. Like, it was so organic.
Yes, bro.
And when you think about it, it's like two different, and that's why I love being a barber, bro. I meet so many people from so many walks of life to where I try to make my shop be a sanctuary for not just men. I have women here, kids, but when you come in, you're supposed to be able to decompress. Yeah. So to go back in earlier in the podcast, we're so masculine that I didn't get my toes done until I was 34. Yeah. I had cut like 45 heads. I'm like, hey, my feet hurt. Yeah. Somebody said, man, go get a pedicure. I went out, I was like, oh, this ain't gay at all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for real.
But I got to do that to men.
Yes, bro.
If you sit in my chair and I cut your hair, I lean you back, put a hot towel on you, rub your temple. You're like, like just take it in. Right. Let me help you decompress from the day. So, like, what I do is so intertwined with life that I get to make an impact. Every time I cut your hair, bro, you be like, thank you, bro. Yes. Like, bro, thank you,
yes, bro.
And that's what I do it for. The money is always going to come. And I tell new barbers that if you chasing money, you're going to burn out. Yeah. But I chase experience. That's what I was taught. Yeah. Create the experience. If you give me, like, this podcast, this is a dope experience. Yeah. It's going to be so memorable for people. You're going to touch so many people that the money that you get is just going to be like. So when I make money, it's like, okay. Yeah. That's part of it, but that's not who I am. Yeah. And so.
Yeah, but you're a pillar, bro.
I try.
And I think that's
what I was taught.
Yeah, and that's so significant because I feel like this topic is so appropriate to your journey because you have two things that are intersected. You are dealing with a mostly male population. Absolutely. Right? Which most people in their professions, you have a diverse portfolio. But barbers typically only get one demographic of people. Absolutely. And then you are now highlighting to them, okay, hey, it's okay to be a man. But again, you're doing it in subtle ways.
You forgetting the word. Yeah. It's okay to be vulnerable.
Man,
with me,
come
it's
on
okay.
Now. Yeah.
It's okay to be vulnerable.
I like
me.
that.
You feel me?
For real, because I was talking to someone one time, one of my good friends. He actually gonna be on the podcast, but we were talking about the difference between being vulnerable and transparent. A lot of people misconstrue the meaning of transparency with vulnerability.
Okay.
Transparency is this. Man, bro, I got fired. It's just being honest about a present circumstance.
Right.
Right? Vulnerability is, bro, I got fired. I feel worthless. And I really don't know what I'm going to do next.
I ain't even think about that.
I'm scared. I'm afraid. You're bringing somebody into your world, right? And so one thing that I think is amazing about barbering is you already have the atmosphere set up to disarm whomever is coming in there for the most part.
Sometimes.
For the most part. That's what I said. Because most times barbers are the one people where, like, it's Switzerland, right?
Absolutely.
Right, where you gonna deal with people who know they ain't living life right, but they still need to be taken care of.
You have to have the most unbiased mind to be a barber.
For sure.
You're going to cut people that aren't even the same sexual orientation as you.
Literally.
You're going to, like, you might be cutting hair and look over her shoulder and say, oh, my God. Like, whoa, bro, wilding in the text.
Yes, bro.
And you have to keep it like you right.
Yeah.
But I take it back to, bro, like, my mentors, Coach Leonard, he's a barber instructor. He owns Impact Barber Academy. I think it would be dope if you interviewed him.
Oh, for sure. We got to have him come on.
He's an amazing guy. Yeah. Yasha, like, she's like a sister to me. Yeah. They taught us in barber school. It wasn't just about the haircut.
Yeah.
I vividly remember Coach was like, are you the barber that would sit a young man down from a single mother and talk to him about puberty?
Wow.
Or are you just the barber that's just going to cut his hair?
Yeah.
So then I had to train myself like, oh, this is real. Yeah. Like you said, I'm a pillar. To some people, I'm a celebrity.
Yeah.
Because it's like what I can do with clippers, you can't do for yourself.
Yeah.
And so I feel like there's a lot of appreciation for barbering, but I feel like it's tanking because everybody wants to Instagram. Like, nobody cares to be a pillar.
Yeah.
I want to be not necessarily Nino Brown, but I want to be the barber that passes out turkeys in the community. I want to be the barber where I could take 5 barbers to my neighborhood and say, for today, we cutting hair for free.
Yeah.
And because those are things I never had. Remember, like I said, all things I didn't have, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And so you have to be very unbiased. Yeah. But you have to do it with love.
Yes, bro.
Like, you have to do it with love. And if you don't, you're never going to... You have to do it with love and do what you love. Like, I love making people feel good. I love to cut your hair and you come home and your wife be like, take that shit off.
You know what I'm saying?
You feel me? That make me feel good. I hope you watching,
baby.
That make me feel good because it's like, I did that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's a certain level of humility you got to have. Like,
yes, bro.
I know I'm not the best barber. Yeah. But I know I'm not the worst.
Yeah.
And I know that it's the same with my life journey. Yeah. You grind and you grind and you grind until it's like, Yeah. And so I had that moment, bro. I've been cutting hair since I was 18. Yeah. And one day I'm at the shop like, damn, my cuts ain't looking good. And I said, wait a minute. There's a thing called a 10,000 hour rule. I know I've did 1,500 hours of school. Yeah. But prior to school, I was cutting hair for 13, 14 years. Yeah. You're at your 10,000. Now you mastering this. And now you have to master yourself. Yeah. What are you doing wrong? Yeah. And so I just I ramped it up, bro. Yeah.
But you know, bro, to even highlight once, I know we used this term a couple of times, but I just want to educate the audience. A pillar, let's just put this in perspective. Pillars, let's think of a house with columns.
Absolutely.
Pillars are there to help hold up, but they may never be recognized.
Absolutely.
It's pillars in his home, keeping his home together. But when people come in here, all they're doing is just experiencing the beauty of what has been curated in this atmosphere.
Absolutely.
So to decide to be a pillar, you have to walk in humility.
Absolutely.
You have to be comfortable, which most men are not taught to do because we are like, no, we need to be front and center. I like to correct this statement a lot. People say behind every great man is a good woman. Mm-hmm. My wife is never behind me.
She's in front of you.
She in front of me or she's right beside me because she's my equal.
So behind every great woman is a great man. So you have to learn, basically you have to learn how to follow before you can lead.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's like, I think men, we seek to influence, but we don't know how to be influenced. And so we are so quick to give perspective, to speak on things. Like, you ever be around somebody and you're like, man, this dude always talking, bro.
Oh, yeah.
But you know how they living.
Oh, yeah.
I know you got a cousin right now, just like I got a cousin right now, that you like, man, what are you going to do consistently in your life?
And I try to separate myself from that.
You know what I'm saying?
I try to.
But it's a product of what we were talking about earlier, where I think the growth and maturity comes with a level of vulnerability that you can have with yourself, where you realize, I really don't know how to conquer this.
Right.
And I think that that's something that a lot of men are afraid to confront. How have you confronted those moments? Because I've had those moments.
Man, with that, I think for me,
yeah,
I can if I feel like I'm not up to par with who I feel like I should be, bro, I'll go off. But like I have two different worlds.
Yeah.
Like Jerod is different from worldwide. I'm different as a barber. Like I have a crazy personality as a barber. Like hell yeah, I'm up. But when I feel like I'm not up to par as a man, Jerod, the flesh who I am, I'll go off and be by myself, and I'll try to figure it out. Like I used to be a stickler for like text messages. Like I see your phone, like bro, why you got 300 texts, bro?
Yeah.
And I'll be like, clean it out. Now I'm that guy because I try to find like solace in myself. I try to be like, what is Jerod not doing?
Yeah.
And Steve Harvey said, write things on your vision board and check it off.
Yeah.
Last year, bro, I wrote so many things on my vision board. It all came. I wasn't supposed to get a shop until 2024.
Yeah.
I wrote that on my vision board. I got it in 2 months. I was like, oh, this is real.
Because we was talking about it, and 6 months later, you like, bro, I'm finna.
It wasn't even planned.
Yeah.
I just wrote it down.
Yeah.
But I started to realize it took me back to barber school. Whatever I write down, it comes true.
Yeah.
But for me, like I have to blur those lines. Like I can't blur the lines because when you come to the shop, I have to give you like this. I have to give you this experience. I have to take what you give me. Like I'm more of like not a therapist, but I'm like a damn what's the little Indian thing called?
Oh,
the dream catcher.
Yeah.
I gotta catch everybody's thoughts, and somebody's going through a divorce. I gotta take that and be like, But on my side, I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Am I gonna make enough money this week to, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I want to tell people that as a barber, I'm a servant.
Wow.
I have to serve you, right? Wow. And a lot of people getting, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm still an employee because I'm an employee of you.
Yeah.
You make sure my lights stay on. So I have to give you the best version of me. Yeah. If you come in the shop and you shake my hand, the other day you say, I cut your hair, you said, how are you, bro? I said, I'm good. I was dead ass tired. You said, nah, but like, how are you? Yeah. And I was like, man, I don't even want to get into this shit right now. Yeah. I was like, I'm good, bro. Yeah. And I was so tired, but I knew that me being tired shouldn't affect. Because if you sit down in my chair and then I don't have the same confidence, you can be like, what's wrong with bro? Like, why he tapering my head like that, you know? So I have to know how to turn it off. And I feel like that's what made me grow and mature, because it's like the craziest people have two different sides. So when I separate the man from the barber, that's where I started to grow a little more. Like, I can take what you say, talk to you about it, and leave it directly at that shop, and then go home and live my life. Yeah. So it's that. It's a balance of, you know, the barber and the man, and that. And when I don't feel like I'm me, I go off to myself and I just try to figure it out. Do a little prayer. Yeah. Look at my vision board. Erase something, because my vision board is a dry erase board. Because I like to erase it and write it again. Yeah. And so if I feel like I'm not living up, and on my vision board it says, do it big every damn day. And if I don't do it big, then it's on me. It's not on you. Yeah. So I got to sit back and be like, well, why you didn't do it big today? Yeah. And it don't have to be with the money. It could be how I woke up. Yeah. I learned that in sales. Like, you have to have music that gets you going, because music is a vibration. Facts. So when you're on that vibration and you might catch me on a Friday, I'm like, all right, I got a movie on, 15-minute cut. You're like, damn, boy, going crazy. I'm feeling it. So that's something that I had to learn, was just that, like tailoring it for myself.
I think what you said is crucial, because I feel like a lot of the times we, as men, and I think really just as humans, we forget that, you know, a career is what you choose to do, right? But a calling is something that is just is placed upon you.
It's in you. It ain't on you.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Facts. And so when we're going through navigating all of these things, to a degree, what you're saying is valid, where like we have to choose to remember, like, okay, this is a career. This is how I show up in this particular profession. I think, though, that there should be a point in everyone's life where who we are, it does coincide with our career.
Absolutely.
Where we can show up authentically.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that's why you impactful, you know, as a barber. Because I don't think about you as just my barber. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, this is my brother. So when I hit you up and I'm trying to see how you doing, or like we got to celebrate baby girl being born together, right. Like all of that, I care about you. But the average person, like you said, is just going to treat someone in this profession as a servant. Where you come, you get what you need, you go, right? That they're dispensable. Or you're not really taking a moment to look and to see how you can contribute to what they may also need. Right. And I think that's what I really value about what you brought up is, like, as men, guess what we last in line to sign up to do? Serve. Wow. We last in line to sign up to serve. When you look at shelters and all of these things during the holidays, who is it filled up with? A bunch of women. A bunch of women. And if you see
kids.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And if you see a man in there, he's probably in there with his wife.
Absolutely.
Or he's probably elderly. Because he's lived enough life to be able to understand, I'm on my way out. I want to give back.
Wow.
Why don't we have a more consistent mindset to realize, like, you know what? There's ways that I do need to take time to give back to others. And I think that that's something that I try to do is, like, bro, it's been times where, like, I have literally just asked my cousins, like, hey, you want to come with me to the mall? And you know how it be when you go out with your homies and you kicking it and you break bread with them. Like, that's natural. But it's been times where, like, I went with people that I love and care about, and I'm like, what you like? You like that shirt? All right, cool, it's on me. You know, but I had to leave first. Absolutely. And I didn't get that back.
You never will.
And I think...
You never will.
Literally.
What do they say? Excuse me. It's the offertory statement. Every man should give.
Yeah.
Don't give with a grudge.
Man.
So that's part of it, where it's like...
Yeah.
I had a guy... excuse me, damn. Yeah. I had a guy get a haircut from me.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, man, I got to run...
I got some water for you right there. No, that's good. For you.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Appreciate it. I ain't even need no water. I had 2 clients in the shop. Mm-hmm. One of them was a new client.
Yeah.
And the other one was a returning client.
Okay.
Cut the new client here. He's like, hey, man, I'm going to run to the ATM and get your money.
Yeah.
Like, cool, I don't think nothing of it.
Yeah.
My returning client that I've been cutting for a couple years, as soon as he sat in the chair, he said, hey, I'm paying for his haircut. I said, nah, you good. He said, bro, he's not coming back.
Wow.
I said, man, you good. So he ended up paying for it, right?
Yeah.
Dude never came back.
Wow.
Dude calls me a month later. Hey, man, sorry I ran out on that cut, bro. I went to jail. And, like, when I hear it, I'm like, man.
Yeah.
But the fact that somebody had already given for him, I gave him grace. I was like, hey, bro, you good.
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah,
he led. He didn't have to do that. And I told him, I said, man, no. Like, he's like, bro, I appreciate you, and you should get what you worth. So he paid for it. He's like, bro, he's not coming back.
Yeah.
Me, I'm like, nah, he's coming back. You know? He's coming back.
Yeah.
He's not coming back.
Yeah.
And he never came back.
Yeah.
But he ended up paying for that, which kind of takes it into what you said, going to the mall and leading. But I was like, damn, like, you actually are a good servant. Like, you're serving for people you don't even know.
Yeah.
On my behalf.
Yeah.
So I give back. Like,
yeah,
I've had clients come sit in my chair. They're going through a rough time. Mm-hmm. Man, I went through a wreck, man. And like, one of my clients, I think he celebrated like 40 years of marriage.
Wow.
We had a great conversation. He was telling me about how he grew up in L.A. He was security. He used to be around Suge and all these guys. And he was telling me about how his wife made him a different man. And I was like, I'm so touched by this. So when he got up to pay, I just hugged him. I said, happy anniversary. You don't owe me nothing.
Yeah.
He said, man, you're going to make me cry. I said, nah. I said, you just made me grow as a man.
Yeah.
Because you're sharing things with me that I probably would never experience. So I think that's the beauty of me being a barber.
Yeah.
Is that I get to give and receive at the same time.
Yeah, bro.
So that's the beauty of it.
You're not lying. And then, like, you get to see who's invested in you. It'd probably be the people you least expect it. Because I remember on your birthday, I was like, oh man, I got to get Rod a gift. And I was even talking to my wife about it. And, you know, she just know my heart, period. But she could also tell, like, no, I actually care about you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because when somebody is willing to invest into who you are, it's because you've given them value that they can't retain, or they can't pay you back for.
Absolutely.
And going back to what I was saying earlier, a lot of men are last in line to sign up when it comes to serve. What you doing, I think you don't even recognize this, and this is why I be talking to you about relationships a lot. It's like you've already taught yourself how to submit.
I have to.
And we was talking about how it's not just on women to submit, but it's also on men too.
But I have to learn that relationship side from my clients.
Yeah.
From a married client that's been married for 5 years with his wife for 7 years.
Yeah.
And when you tell me things like, bro, I wrote an album about my wife. I'm like, and I told you, I said, bro, like, that's so beautiful, it's scary.
Yeah.
To put that much into this person. I tried that. And I had to get out of that mindset of like, when I was young, I would be like, you know what, little heartbreak, cool.
Yeah.
You gotta love the wrong person until you find the right person.
Right.
And when I felt like I found my person, it was completely the wrong person. So now I'm like, God, what is this about?
I was talking to my brother the other day, man, and we was talking about our wives. And
hold on.
Yeah.
You were talking to your brother about what?
Our wives.
Ain't too many men that's gonna sit in a circle and have wives.
Facts.
It's a different conversation.
Yeah. On me.
It's a different conversation.
He said something, or I told him something that, because we was talking about the Bible, right? And we was just chopping it up about something that we had similar perspective on. And we was reading this verse in Ephesians chapter 5, verses 25 through 31. But that whole section talks about cleansing and washing your wife. And it talks about loving your wife as you would love yourself.
Absolutely.
And when we talked about loving ourselves. And then it talks about everything it says in that frame, it puts no onus on her. And what are men quick to do? Even in dating. This is why I'm bringing this up. Even in dating, something that I had to turn off. Because my wife, we dated before we got married, right? And so something I had to learn to turn off is, oh, she doing da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Because whatever she's doing, if she's my garden,
I gotta water that.
I got to tend to it first. So
a lot of a married man. I'm telling you, man.
But even when I think about like the past relationships I had, I ain't gonna even.
So you wasn't watering those gardens,
boy. Listen.
But do you feel like that's part of like?
I didn't even know.
Do you feel like that's the God where this is your garden? You are forced to water it, or you care enough to water it?
To a degree, because my wife would tell you we broke up like 3 times.
But what does watering the garden look like? That's
what I'm trying to talk about.
That's the part for me.
I think that's something that's valuable about talking about because
before you go there, we gotta realize that not all soil accepts the water.
Come on, man.
So it's like,
yeah,
I've watered a garden and I feel like I did it right, and it was like there's some weeds in here. Yeah. And I couldn't pull those weeds out. So
this man, the author, y'all heard what he said.
No, I'm just saying,
y'all
bro.
Heard what he said. They finna be crazy on TikTok. Oh my God.
Certain soil does not accept certain things. So it's like to hear you say you have to like that's a whole different part of humility to say, man, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
But that's what I said, right? I said, when I'm not feeling like me, what am I doing?
But I also think too, like we don't realize, like sometimes soil has just been fertilized bad.
Ooh.
Right? So when we think about we getting fresh soil, we don't know what they've went through before us.
But they don't know what we went through either.
Facts.
And as a man, we don't have enough courage to admit and be vulnerable that I've been through this. Because think about it probably happens on their side. I'm not a woman, so I don't know. But I've opened up to a woman and it's like, oh, well, your mama a crackhead and this, that. And it's like, damn, you'll do that? Like, you want me to be vulnerable, but then you shut me down. So it's like. Hey man, you got a different heart, brother.
But I
got a different heart, brother.
Man, what Vince Staples said, he said, "Oh, you bring people to your house?" He said, "You got a good heart."
No, this is. But you're doing a podcast in your wife's sanctuary.
Yeah,
you have an amazing heart. Yeah. I couldn't do that. Yeah. I can't. Like people be like, hey, can you cut my hair at your house? Absolutely not.
Yeah,
like, you're not coming to my house, bro.
Yeah. That's a fact, though.
So it's like, what you have a different heart. I have a heart, but not like that. Like,
but but I will say this though, because I want to acknowledge this. Like, I was not always like this. If this clip or this podcast get out to somebody that knew me from my past, because remember, I've only been married to my wife 5 years, and we've been together 7. So it's people that still, years ago? You feel me? It's people that got fresh memories of me where I'm responsible for some damage. I'll just say that.
We all are.
And so even when I was with those women, or even when I was just in relationships with people that was trash, I also had moments where I realized, like, okay, this behavior she don't really deserve this. But I let that be overridden by my frustration, my anger, my insecurity.
Right.
Because I think a lot of the time as men, we can project on the situations, especially if somebody do something that we can make. Like, for example, I remember, bro, I found out that this girl had cheated on me, right? And I cheated back. But she never found out about my cheating. But every time I've told that story, it's been from the perspective of, yeah, bro, she cheated on me. You feel me? And it's like, I think that's the part of honesty that a lot of people lack with themselves.
So he's saying like, yeah, bro, that shit hurt.
Yeah.
Like, nigga, I need shoulder to cry on.
Because we quick to highlight what somebody has done to wrong us.
Yeah.
But we're not really introspective to realize, like, somewhere along those lines, we also didn't give 100%.
Absolutely. But see, I think that's the man that I am now.
Yeah.
I feel like the people that can say I'm their friend.
Yeah.
Bro, you can come cry on my shoulder, nigga. I'm gonna cry with you. I'm not the biggest crier, but if you tug on the string a little bit, I might cry with you. But like I try not to ever make my friends feel like they can't cry. And all my friends are men. I don't really have too many female friends at this point. But I try to make it where, like, bro, if you ain't feeling your best, let's go outside. Nigga, let's go to Gaddy Land. The kids, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I do whatever I can. And I had a moment like that with my best friend. He showed up to my house drunk.
Yeah.
Beating on my door. And I told him, I said, hey, bro, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
He's like, he had done some time. And the whole time he was in prison, me and my brother pouring into him. Yeah. So I'm hoping, like, when he get out, you can see that me and my brother have come from this and we've built up to this.
Yeah.
So now this is the standard. So what we used to do at 21 and 19 and drink and be out, that's not the standard no more. Now we're businessmen. So we need to elevate you, or you need to elevate yourself to this game. And I had to give him one of those hard talks like, bro, where I'm going, I don't see you going there. We can't be friends. And it hurt him.
But
it hurt him.
What you saying is crucial though, bro.
I have to grow. If I water you as my brother, we grow together.
Yeah.
You have to water me back though.
But you were comfortable enough to correct. And that's what I was trying to get to the point of, is like, in relationships, I feel like we look at them as a commodity with women, where we not willing to correct the next. Because how many times your homie came to you and be like, you know he in a relationship. And bro, I was with Cheryl last night, bro.
That's funny you said that. One of my homies got married early. I'm talking about, we were 20.
Yeah.
He got married early. I'm like, what are you doing married?
Yeah.
Room full of chicks.
Yeah.
We was 20, okay?
Yeah.
Not recent. It's very, very long time ago. And I'm talking about room full of baddies.
Yeah.
Everybody in there finna do they Dougie.
Yeah.
Bro, get up and run out the room.
Wow.
Like, he just take off. I'm like, hey. Shut it, like, what's wrong with him? Like, man, I don't know, but stay right there.
Yeah.
I go outside, I'm like, what's wrong with you? I'm not ruining my life for y'all.
Wow.
I was like, man, you corny.
Yeah.
But now I look back, I'm like, damn, bro had it figured out.
Yeah.
And we didn't.
Yeah.
So it was like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
And now that's a full circle moment, because he's the same guy that fell off track. And I'm like, remember when you told us you wouldn't ruin your life for us? But now you want us to ruin our life for you. So,
so do you find yourself courageous enough in those moments, or comfortable enough to correct behaviors that you know are damaging? Because I feel like a lot of men, we can self-sabotage.
So with that, yes, but I feel like right now it's a war.
Okay.
It's a war on sexes.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I can't tell a woman how to be a woman, but I can tell her what I expect of her as a woman.
Yeah.
But it's trash out here.
Yeah.
I'm not saying women are trash. I'm saying the climate in which we live in. Oh, you got to give me the $80,000 Birkin bag. Yeah. And it's like, damn, what happened to the days where I could just take you on a picnic and we eat sandwiches? You don't love that no more?
Yeah, because if you take her to Cheesecake Factory now, it's a problem.
Well, hey, listen. Listen.
I thought you had motion.
Let me tell you something. For everybody that's not from Austin, a woman could take me to Shortstop and I'm happy, bro. I don't give a damn. You can bring me a double cheeseburger, but it's like, how can I be vulnerable with that? Yeah. How can I be vulnerable when you want the $1 million house and I'm only making $40,000, hypothetically? Mm-hmm. I'm not making that type of money. How can I can't open myself, because you're going to look at me like I'm less than. Mm-hmm. And that's what goes back into the being able to be vulnerable. Until you find a purpose as a man, I don't think you can be vulnerable with a woman or be vulnerable in life, because you're going to have this guard up, right? If I see you with the McQueen's on, idiot mindset, this nigga think he doing something.
Right, yeah.
Grown man mindset, man, them fire. Where you get them at? Yeah. So it's like you have to grow and be vulnerable and put yourself to the side to know that, okay, maybe I'm not making $200,000. Yeah. But I'm not afraid to talk to the man that's making $200,000 and ask him, what steps did you take? And I don't need a blueprint. Just tell me what you did, and then I'll go from there. Mm-hmm. So it's like there's so many factors. But I have any conversation with anybody. Yeah. But being a barber taught me that. I have any, man, bro.
But I think that's major though, because, I think people feel like vulnerability is supposed to pay you back. It's a deposit you make with no expectation, bro.
That is.
You know what I'm saying?
That is so nice. That's nasty work, bro.
You feel me?
He don't pay you back.
Yeah, vulnerability ain't always reciprocal.
That's like the bank, though. You put your money in the bank, there's no interest on this money.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
They lie to you.
For real.
So, I get it.
For real.
That's part of being vulnerable, putting your money in a building that you might not never, might crash, you might not get it back.
Because as humans, we very risk averse.
Absolutely.
You talk to somebody about the stock market, it's plenty of people that'll be like, nah, bro, I ain't finna lose my money. Hey, and that's how
I'm him. Yeah. I'm not putting my money in no stocks, bro. I'm not. I'm him. You gotta give me some tangibles.
For real. Yeah, and that's how a lot of people are with vulnerability. It's like when you think of talking about, so you talk to somebody that's living their life wild, and you just happen to casually bring God up. First thing goes, man, I gotta get my life right, bro. Yeah. And it's like, bro, the one thing he tells you is come to me.
Come as you are.
You feel me?
But that goes back into everything we've been talking about. You can't come as you are when you feel like everybody in the church is looking at you like, oh.
Yeah.
You'll wear the zip-up jacket to church and not put on the button down?
Right.
But if it's come as you are, then we should all just live and be happy. And oh, hey, brother, I'm glad you came. Yeah. Right? Like we're being vulnerable. Yeah. If you say, hey, bro, I'm not feeling myself. I feel like less of a man. Me and my wife are going through things. Bro, I don't know how you feel, but guess what? I'm glad you shared that with me. Yeah. So that it goes hand in hand. So it's tough, bro.
What's something you won't compromise?
My happiness. I did it before. I will never do it again. Never.
What brought you to that conclusion?
My mama raised me like that, but going through a relationship where, like I said, when I was younger, I was the angry guy. Not necessarily like, I'm not going to beat you up, but I had a very like, Jerod. Okay. My daughter's mom always say this shit. She be like, here you go with these Jerodisms. Because I might say some shit and I might throw it to her. So she's like, here you go with these Jerodisms. I'll be like, all right, bro. Yeah. But I had like, I seen the world through my lens only. Okay. It's either my way or the highway. Mm-hmm. And I got told, you're so wrong for that. Yeah. Which stopped me from being vulnerable. Because if you, like the church, you say, come as you are. Yeah. You might tell me something that's absolutely disturbing, but as your brother, I got to accept that for who you are. Yeah. And I got told, oh, you so wrong. You so wrong. You need to change. You need to change. Yeah. And so I went into a relationship with my guard completely down. And anything that she would do, it would make me mad. But I had to like shelter and be like, it's okay. And I'm like, I'm so not happy here. But it's like, you have to put that on the back burner because they said you being you don't work. So I'm gonna step outside of being me and be this other guy that's just, oh, you want to cheat? Go ahead. Like it's these are things you go through to make it 40 years. Like I'm losing it inside. Yeah. And then one day I woke up and I was like, you're not happy. Yeah. Like I would never compromise my happiness, and that's me being selfish for me though. Okay. That's not me stepping on anybody. Like I don't like being let down. Like you said, like celebrating my birthday. I don't celebrate my birthday with people. If you notice, you kept saying, what you doing? I'm like, bro, I ain't really doing nothing. Yeah. Because I'm the type of person, I don't want you to let me down, which goes back to my childhood, broken promises. Oh, we're going to get this, we're going to get that, and we don't have it. So now I'm the type of person, I buy it for myself. Hey, what do you need? So people ask, what you want for Christmas, bro? Buy me some socks. Yeah. That's all I want. Yeah. At least I know you can't get that wrong. Yeah. But I'm not gonna put an expectation on you to make me fall short of that. Now I'm hurt, and I hate being hurt, and I run from it. So I won't compromise my happiness ever again.
I'm glad you highlighted that, though, because I feel like most people can relate to that. Because I think that there is this sense of control in what we deem as happiness, because happiness is subjective, right? What made you happy at 30 ain't making you happy at 36.
Oh, you're right.
You know, and so
I got a different life now.
You know, and so I think what I hear you saying is like, you're just not willing to compromise your value.
But I'm told I'm wrong for that.
You know, I think,
and it's because I value different things than you value, and that's okay. Yeah. Like I can't stop you from being you.
I think that, you know, it can come off to people as you're just self-centered. But I think I understand what you're describing, which is like you're being honest enough to say, hey, I've been hurt in these areas.
And I don't want to feel it.
And this is my boundary.
But you're asking me to be vulnerable. When I'm vulnerable, I'm wrong. Yeah. So you close the whole door of me being vulnerable. Yeah. What do you want me to do? Yeah. Like I hate the term, keep it 100. Nothing is 100. Bleach kills 99.9% of germs. It doesn't kill 100. Right. So I can't tell you the 100% truth because I know somewhere it's going to hurt you, and to hurt you is going to hurt me. So how do I balance this?
So you feel like you have to be apprehensive to a degree because you can't really lean fully in.
Bro. Yeah. No man. Yeah. Want his wife to come in the house. All right, baby, you been out all night. What you been doing? Yeah. Well, at 10:40, I gave Larry that box. At 11:30, I gave John that top. At 12 o'clock, Larry and John had me bent up in the back of a car. You don't want to hear that. Right. You just don't want to hear it. Right. So it's like, don't tell me to, because if you say, give me the truth, right? Or give you me, I can only give you me. I can only give you what life made me or my experiences. Now, my experiences may not be the same as yours, but that doesn't mean I'm wrong. Yeah. And I feel like that's where people go wrong. Like, like I said, like being a barber, bro, I listen to crazy. And I'm like, and I'll be like, yeah, hey, that's crazy. Yeah. I feel you. I can't say you wrong because what life made you. I can't say that. But to get told you're wrong so many times, and I do not like to hurt. So for me, I'm like, I come out very nonchalant. Like I'll be like, oh yeah, cool. Yeah. I don't know how to, like, I feel like it's that thing like Lil Wayne, like he been famous since he was 9. So he doesn't really know how to react to stardom. For me, I was hurt so young that I'm the only one that's gonna make me happy. That's how I feel. Like it's all on me. So I have no expectation of you to make me happy. So like in a relationship, it's like, I'm happy, bro, sitting at the crib watching TV. But I'm happy going on vacations and things like that. Yeah. But I don't want to live up to your expectation. Or I don't want you to have to live up to my expectation. Because what I do for me ain't gonna be what you do for yourself. Like I'm willing to die for me, but I'm willing to die for you. Everybody's not like that. Yeah. See what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's where it gets crossed for me. It sucks. Because it's like, if you my brother, I'm gonna die for you. I don't give a damn. Like, nah, I'm dying. Right. And I'm loyal to a fault at that. But that's how I am. But like you said, I have to be conscious of like, I ain't dying for this nigga in no swimming pool. Yeah. But I die for this nigga in the fight. You see what I'm saying? So you have to balance it. But not everybody holds value in what you hold value for.
I think that's very mature of you to be able to recognize like, hey, you know, who I am ain't for everybody. Because I feel like a lot of men aren't willing to evaluate themselves enough, and then they end up projecting that onto somebody else, and you making the other person the issue when it's just really like, nah, maybe you just not being authentic about who you are.
That's with barbering. I'm not the barber for everybody. Regardless if I can cut hair really good. Yeah. I posted on Facebook, I said, hey, please stop tagging me in those posts for barbers that are looking in those posts for clients that are looking for last minute barbers. I'm not him. Right. I'm not the guy that's going to sit here and wait for you to get here and I got 30 minutes, hurry up and rush, but then you don't even want to pay me what I'm worth. So I'm going to put myself in that circle. Yeah. Somebody tag me, hey, I need a barber real quick. And they tag me, I don't even respond. Like, I have inboxes of people like, can you cut my hair? Or me, I'm big on the approach. If you say, hey, man, Jay sent me to you, I would love to get a haircut. Yeah. Amazing. But when you say, hey, yo, fam, I want my haircut. Bro, that ain't what we doing. I'm not the garage barber. I'm a real barber. So I take all of that into account, man. It's all a balance, bro, for sure. Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, this conversation has been phenomenal, bro. Like, we talked about a lot of different things, and I really love where you landed with compromising, you know. I think that's something that we don't talk about a lot. But, you know, that brings me to my last point, which I'm just wondering, what's something new in this season of your life that you're going to continue to move forward in being vulnerable with? Or what's something that you recently have confronted that you like, I ain't really been vulnerable with this?
What I'm going to move forward and be vulnerable, my kids, bro. That shit made me a man. When you understand that you created something and you're responsible for it, makes you a man. I'm completely vulnerable. Man, my daughter, I'll be like, she crying all the time, and then I look at her, she got her little lip poked out. I'm like, you know what, man? Shit ain't so bad. So my kids, bro, being a father, like I want to learn everything. I want to be there for every moment, every step. I'm changing dirty diapers with a smile on my face. I don't give a damn. She throw up on me. It is what it is. Give a damn about this Walmart shirt. But being a father, bro, I want to be the best father I can be. I want my girls to know, like, I want to raise the bar so high for my daughters that it's gonna be hard, bro. You're gonna have to get a jet to get up there and impress them, because I want them to know, like, everything you need. Like, you're beautiful. I'm here. I want to know everything. I mean, some shit I don't want to know. Growing up, I want you to understand that it's a safe space for them to be vulnerable and me to be vulnerable as a father, because I don't want to be a tough dad. I want to be the dad where my girls can come to me and, Daddy, I want ice cream. Put my shoes on. So that I just want to continue to evolve as a man, and I think that's helping me for sure. So my kids, bro, that's all I care about.
And I love that perspective, because our ceiling should be their floor, right?
Absolutely.
And so I think that that's something that I'm trying to keep in mind for myself too. You know, with my daughter being 12 now, our conversations look a lot different. But I'm so appreciative that she still welcomes me into her world. So I think what you're saying is key. And, you know, I shared this on a previous episode, but, you know, I'm learning to become more vulnerable when it comes to my relationship with her. But I would say, in addition to that, I feel like another area of vulnerability that I want to explore within myself is how to truly lower myself. And what I mean by that is, as men, I said this earlier, we can be quick to want to influence, but last to want to be influenced, right? So we want to influence things, but we don't ever want to be influenced.
Right.
And I think that society has set men up to be so much of the mouthpiece that we almost think that intrinsically we know everything. And one area where I know I can be better is humbling myself when I'm speaking to my wife, and really, you know, because I'm not aggressive when I talk to her, but I just mean, like, you know, when somebody talking to you, and you know in your mind where you thinking, like, all right, like, I'm just getting through this but, you know, man, being married is such a, people don't realize how really how it is like uncharted territory, and how much of a humble person you have to be to marry someone,
right,
or grow into, because essentially you're trusting this person with your life from a wife's perspective. And so I have to keep things like that in my perspective or in my mind of like, when I'm talking to my wife, like, you know, people say like, you talk about her all the time or you make all these songs about her. Yeah, she's a huge part of my world, and she's trusted me with her life, and she didn't have to. And she was, angel, you feel me? She was doing straight without me.
Right.
And we've continued to elevate together.
What
and so
they say, I'm a movement by myself.
Right? But I'm a force when we're together.
Hey, that's
for real.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
That's different.
That's something that I think I definitely have to continue to grow in. I want to be quicker, right? I don't want it to have to be we have 3-4 conversations and about the same thing where she's just like, you know, you're causing me to feel X, Y, and Z way, and I have to keep falling on my face in order to get it right. Now I know we still growing, right, and learning each other, and we have our whole lives to live out the beauty of our marriage, but that's something I definitely want to be more intentional in. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, that's where I'm at, bro.
I commend you, brother. That's amazing.
Hey,
bro.
I'm saying this on camera right now, bro. Rod gonna be married very soon.
Hey,
I know it.
I ain't gonna say I'm not.
He gonna hit me up, bro.
I ain't gonna say I'm not.
Bro, it happened, bro. We gotta go out to dinner.
I ain't gonna say nothing that's gonna get my head cut off. I ain't gonna say nothing.
Listen, I know. And this gonna be a woman that she ain't gonna be impressed by none of his shenanigans. She gonna be straight to the core with my man.
No, well, I don't need her then. I need the one that's gonna scratch my back.
She gonna be straight to the point with my boy. I'll take it. I know it, man, but this was dope, bro. Love you, man.
Absolutely. Love you too, bro.
I'm glad you came by.
Hey, don't stop, bro. I see it all. Hey, man, when you get big, I'm gonna be the first person to say I saw it. So.
Bro, you there? We locked in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm happy for you,
for
bro.
real.
I love this, man.
Man, this is...
If you're not on this podcast, you are cheating yourself.
Hey.
I'm gonna go cry in the car for sure. I'm gonna cry in the car for sure. But yeah, it's dope, bro. I love you, bro.
Man, love you too, bro. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all. Peace. Share this. Like, love, subscribe. All the things, man. All right.